but at least we are live in our webinar platform tonight in our Zoom. So again, before I pass the microphone and stuff to Asha, let me introduce Asha. So Asha is actually a physical therapist, a neuro specialist, and she is actually the CEO of the Therex Portal. It's actually a software that uses the telehealth platform. So again, thank you very much for those people who are watching right now in the webinar. Obviously, I will try to stream this in our Facebook tonight, but it seems like it's not streaming because of all this people using Facebook now because of all the quarantine things. So if you are watching on the live, please comment live in our chat box. Comment live there so we would know you are here. And if you are watching on the webinar replay, please comment replay. And obviously, if you are watching live and on the replay, please comment where you are from so we would know who we're talking to. Earlier, there was a lady. Her name is Kay. She is from the Philippines. So obviously, Filipinos rocks, right? North Carolina. Jennifer is in North Carolina. Lindsay is Florida. Oh gosh, we were supposed to go to Florida, Lindsay, this May for the SSHC. So, but everything happens for a reason. So Ruth is from Michigan. Deborah, Ohio. Lakshmi is in Houston. So wow, we've got several people all over the states and also all over the world. So again, welcome. We've got a special guest tonight. Her name is Asha. I'm trying to stream this in our Facebook group, Alternative Careers Group. Unfortunately, it's not streaming now, but we will go ahead and we've got somebody from India, Vijay.
That's awesome.
Namaste. Namaste. I miss samosa. Asha, you gotta send me some samosa.
Yeah.
Some what's this? My wife cook chicken curry, but she didn't call it chicken curry. She called it I forgot. Fancy chicken curry. What do you call that? Chicken curry.
As long as is it chicken tikka?
No, tikka masala.
There you go.
Tikka masala. I missed that. Sheila is from India, so we're all over. So again, welcome. And we've got Asha here to teach us how to start your own telehealth practice using her platform. So she's got a special promo, special offer for us tonight. But before everything, Asha, go ahead and take the microphone. Go ahead and put your slides up, and I'm going to ask you to along the way. So I want to learn. So.
Sure, Mike. I'm unmuted, right?
Yeah,
I'm not muted. Yes, perfect. So, hey everybody. To start with, I want to just have a word about COVID. I know we are all suffering from the COVID, and we need to protect ourselves, protect our patients. And that being said, I know a few of the clinics that have stopped practicing and they are in deep financial trouble because of the COVID. So it has affected a lot of us, a lot of private practitioners. And if you're the primary breadwinner, I can see what effect it has on you. So what I want to do is I want to do my share to help you. So I'm going to not charge you for this Therex portal until the COVID outbreak is clear, which can be 2 months or 3 months or 1 month, whatever it takes. So that being said, I'm going to start off with a statement. How do we survive and succeed during this COVID outbreak? We know that we have to physically distance ourselves, by practicing isolation or confining us to our own home. However, to succeed, we could stay digitally connected. And I always am a huge fan, and Mother Teresa inspires me a lot. So I'm going to take a quote from her. Together, we can do great things.
Asha, do you have your screen up? Could you share your screen again?
Oh, sure. 1 second. I'm sorry about that. Thank you. All right.
So I don't know if you heard that, guys. Asha is gonna give us a free, is it a free subscription? Free subscription. Did I hear that right? For those people who are actually interested in starting their own uh, telehealth practice.
Can
There
you
you go.
can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mind clicking the from beginning? There
Perfect.
you go. So bigger. There you go. All right.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
uh,
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mike. Yeah.
there you go.
So all my rambling is from this slide. So so that's what I was trying to tell. Anyhow, so I feel like we have to uplift each other during this time. So that being said, I'm going to talk about our application, Therex Portal. So, and also make it easy for you to subscribe and also to use the technology. So how can we make it easy for all the practitioners to subscribe and to utilize telehealth and get on board with telehealth? So this is how the entire application works. So as a therapist, you will evaluate your patient. You share a HIPAA secure link either through a text message or through an email to the patient. And then you schedule up the visit and then you share the link. And you are evaluating the patient through a video conference. As you evaluate the patient, you can also identify the impairments, functional limitations, and then using a screen share, you have them practice the exercises, you demonstrate the exercises, and also prescribe the exercises as a home exercise program. So as the patient does these exercises at home, you also have the option to track their adherence. And if the patient has any trouble performing the exercises, or if he experiences pain, he can leave you a message in our secure platform, which is one of the Medicare e-visit guidelines. So we did have this all the time, like all along, and it qualifies for the e-visit that way. Because the patient link is secure, he gets a unique access key, and it's there for him with 24-hour access. So moving on to the next slide, this is me. I am the CEO of the application. I'm a physical therapist, as Mike said, and I have about 15 years of experience. The reason why I developed this platform is because of my mom. She suffers from vestibular migraine. I was trying to give her some vestibular VOR exercises and some gaze stabilization exercises and habituation exercises. My mom speaks Telugu, which is an Indian language, and most of the home exercises are in English and not in any other language that have a unique calligraphic script. So that made me build this platform, and also at telehealth, because I didn't find as many vestibular therapists around the place where my mom lives. So to meet the clinician shortage and also address the language barrier, this is the intent behind the software. And this software has won the National Geographic Chasing Genius Challenge among 1,050 applicants throughout the United States.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's good. And this is our, this is our CTO, Kamal Tota. And Mike, can you see if Kamal is in the webinar? And if he is, I would like him to introduce himself if possible.
Oh, Kamal, let me look for him. So what does CTO means?
It's a Chief Technology Officer.
Oh, okay.
So he's the big head behind the technology. I
Yeah.
am the vision behind it, but he makes it happen.
There's Kamal there. Let me look for
Yes.
his name. I'm gonna upgrade him too. For those people who are actually have any question, just put it in the chat box. You know, just I'm gonna unmute you, Kamal. Okay. Ask to start video, and there you go. All right. What's going on, Kamal? Am I pronouncing your name right, Kamal?
Absolutely. You did a great job. Thank you.
There you go. My good friend, the physician here in Martin is actually Dr. Suresh Thoda. So,
Oh, really? Pretty
yeah.
cool.
So I hope you're not related, right?
No, I don't think so.
Just like when people ask me, "Hey, do you know another Dr. Chua or Chua in this state?" I'm like, "Yeah, we got
Yeah.
thousands of Chua around." So,
It's a small world, by the way. You never know
I know,
who you
right?
are related to.
So, are you based in India or are you here in the States right now, Kamal?
I am in States. I am in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh wow! Oh wow! All right,
Yep.
well, I'll let you guys take over, right?
Thank you so much. Thanks, Asha. My name is Kamal Tota. My full name is Kamalakar, but call me Kamal. I am a technology business leader who have 20 years of experience in software engineering as well as in healthcare space. So out of 20 years, I worked 14 years, especially in the healthcare field, in developing the systems for both VA and as well as Intermountain Healthcare. So I strongly believe that using the technology, we can reduce the barriers and bring everyone together and help them get the care they deserve. And I'm super happy to implement Asha's vision, and we are strongly believe in our mission and vision. And of course, we are here to support Asha's vision. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kamal. Kamal is a great man. Like he has built the Intermountain Healthcare Telehealth Platform. He's the leader of it. Like he led the team to do that. And when I spoke with him, that's what made me like gravitate towards him. And he takes care of all the HIPAA compliance and the data security and cyber security and all those fun things that we are not interested but need to happen, right? And that what makes this platform very unique and very secure. That being said, we're going to move on to our agenda, not to bore you too much. So I'm going to keep this. I do have some explanation of Medicare rules and policies, and also telehealth policies and procedures and the codes and whatnot. But for the purpose of this presentation, we'll first try to spend a lot of time on the demo of this application. And you can also, if you are interested, you can also parallelly try to register yourself or run it through. In that way, if you have any questions, we can problem solve at the same time. So in this agenda, we are going to talk about telehealth, our telehealth platform, Therex Portal Home Exercise Program. And I'm also going to give you some insider tips of how to market yourself, how to market the telehealth platform, and how to grow your business with telehealth. So to start with, we'll go with the registration of Therex Telehealth. And you have this access key, free access key, as I said, which would be free for the course that you need to uplift yourself or get stronger during the COVID outbreak. It's Therex Telehealth, and all the alphabets are in uppercase letter. So we're going to show you the registration, how to register. And soon after you register, you need to you're guided to sign a business associate agreement, which is part of HIPAA requirement. And then you're going to update your profile with your details about what state you practice in and whatnot, which makes you stick on to the physical therapy practice guidelines. And then I'll show you how to schedule, invite patients, and how to initiate the video call, how to share screen, and how to initiate the super bill, how to so that you can issue it to your patient if the patient is private pay, or if you are seeing him with any other telehealth platforms or any other telehealth insurances. Sometimes patients also have FSA, flexible spending account, or healthcare spending account. So if you can give them a super bill, they could also use it for claims purposes.
Asha, can I also ask you questions?
Sure. Please interrupt me along the way. And I'm going to pause it for a second, and I'll take you through the demo. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, please.
So do I need to buy a fancy computer or a fancy tablet? I don't know Are you going to talk about that too? What kind of
Sure.
requirement that do I need a fancy camera, like lighting or whatever, or microphone like this, or?
Sure.
Mhm.
So what we have is, like we both are educators. So we do have all the fancy things around. But if you are a physical therapist, all you need is a quiet room. And I think, Kamal, you can share the PDF document as well, I think in the chat window. So other therapists can use it, the one that we made about telehealth tips, which talks about what you need. So let me just open it. What you need is a laptop on a higher surface. So when you're talking to the patient, like they can see you pretty good. And as long as you have a screen sharing feature and you know which screen you're sharing, you can demonstrate the exercises. And your patient on the other end, a laptop is better, but they could also hold the tablet on a kitchen counter, and then you could monitor them and see them 3 feet away. And some patients, especially in the infographic that I shared before, the patient from India used just a mobile phone. However, his caregiver has held the phone in front of the patient. So our application works on mobile, on tablet, on laptop. You don't need specific technology for it, and it picks up the audio call pretty good. So as long as you are in a quiet place, not with like dogs barking or kids yelling or loud TV, then you should be able to have a decent conversation with your patient and get a successful telehealth call.
There's a question here from Josephine.
Mhm.
Can she just use her tablet, or does she needs to have a laptop?
No, you can use your tablet. What I'm trying to say is position it such a way that the patient can see you well.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then if you are really serious about your practice, I mean, let's face it, we're all professionals here. We're therapists, and you're presenting yourself as a professional to your clients. So I would recommend invest in a good, computer, not a tablet. I mean, you probably use a tablet, but invest in a good computer, dedicated for your practice. It's probably not $1,000, probably around $400 laptop, probably 8 GB. I know I sound fancy, but you want to invest on a good microphone like this. This is like 60 bucks at Amazon. I'll send you a link. And then you can also invest in a good camera. Let me stop the sharing on. You want to stop your sharing, Asha, for a minute?
Yes, sure.
So that way I can show to people the investment that you need to do. So in my case, I've been doing this for a while. I've been doing this since last year. I do Zoom calls. I do education online, CEU classes online, and I've invested in let me show it to you. I have like a light here, like a light camera. This is like 20 bucks at Walmart at the Amazon, and I have this lampshade here. Let me show you a lampshade. If you don't have an umbrella thing, it's just a lampshade that you can move up and down. And that's it. You need good lighting, because if you want to do telehealth, you have to project professional image to your clients, because they want to see a good quality image too. And then you also want to invest in a camera. It's like this is like $20-$30 camera at Amazon. Let me show you the difference between this camera that I bought versus the regular camera in the laptop that I have. This is my regular camera in my laptop. See?
Yes, I see that.
Smooth, right? Look at you can see all my pores. And the quality, I'm less pixelated. I'm not even good looking. But if I
That's
change it
important,
to
right?
my $30 camera, it's like a Logitech camera. Look, boom, I look slimmer, right? I look slimmer. So Josephine said, what a huge difference. See, it can actually make you slimmer too. So invest in a good digital camera. It's like 20-30 bucks at Well, thank you, Josephine. I'll send you like $10 for that. Invest in a good camera. What I have is a Logitech camera. It's an HD 1080p, and then this microphone. It's like $60, but there are much cheaper. Some other telehealth practitioners, all I see is that they use their headset. Their headset that they use in the phone, which is actually good. So I mean, but if you are really serious, you want to project professionalism, you want to project that you're serious about what you're doing. So I'm sure Asha and Kamal will teach you. You're going to teach us, right, Kamal and
Yes,
Asha?
yes, yeah.
Okay, I'll stop talking.
That's
Okay.
okay.
All right, you can put your slide back up again. So
Sure. So let me find the screen Q&A. So I have the invite. Yeah, the share screen. Perfect. So can you see my screen, guys?
yep, I can see here.
Okay.
Telehealth quick tips.
Perfect. So we put up this, the question that you asked. Many patients would have the same question. And to have a successful video call, we created a PDF folder for the patients. So you can share it to your patients. You can email it to them. Patients. What they have to do is to set up a reminder of the telehealth visit on their personal calendar, wear comfortable clothes so that they could move. And for the best experience, this is the answer to your question, use a laptop that would help, of course, and position the laptop higher so that it can be, you can be seen clearly. And when you're connecting, some patients are hard of hearing. So if they are hard of hearing, you could use good speakers, and speakers, even the Bose speakers cost like $100 for the laptop. So they are not very expensive. And if you're connecting, what we used is a Logitech web camera for the therapist. I think and we used a, the ring?
Ring light.
Ring light, yes, that's what I have on me right now, which makes me look brighter. So that's good. So it may, what you said is rightfully so, that we have to be presentable to our patients. And also some patients may not have good internet connection. So you always have to ask them to check their internet connection. And if they are on a limited bandwidth, not too many people should be using the same internet connection at the same time. And invest in a good microphone or camera. Sometimes these Apple EarPods also do a good job, picking up the volume. So they're also good. What you have on this desk is a Blue Yeti microphone. This is what I have right now, which is what I'm using, which gives you good quality audio. And most patients, you'll find this as you're treating more and more patients, they are in a busier environment. So you have to ask them to be serious about it, to sit in a quiet room. And if they're using a tablet, put it on a higher surface so that you can see the patient clearly as you're talking through them. And for the best user experience of our software, both the patient and you need to be using Chrome browser. You can download Chrome browser on your iPhone. You can download it on your mobile, on tablet, but use a Chrome browser for now, okay? And I am a neurotherapist, so I treat patients with spinal cord injury, with stroke, and a good bit of my telehealth call is spent on caregiver training. So if the patient asks the caregiver, he brings him without any advance notice, the caregiver is inhibited. So you ask the patient to prepare the caregiver in advance, let him know that we would be spending some time on caregiver training, teaching them transfer skills, how to support the patient when you're teaching them balance strategies and whatnot. So these are, the tips we have for the patient side from the technology end. And I mean, like what they need to have. And specific to this software, our application sends them a consent form. It forces the patient to sign an informed consent before you even see the patient. So you have to ask the patient to be aware that they would get a consent form to be treated, and ask the patient to feel free to ask you any questions. And before you end the call, make sure you schedule the next visit before you end the call. So these are our tips for a good telehealth session. And
The consent form, Asha, is it already built in the
it's already
software?
built into the
They
software.
don't have to print it out, right? I mean,
No,
they just
no,
have
no,
to finger sign it in the app
no.
itself.
They just have to sign it, and we use EULA, European digital signature. So this is a law that is enforced in Europe and America. So as long as you type your name in full and click a checkbox that you are giving consent, it acts as a valid digital legal signature. So the software needs to have that in the application for you to know that to fit all those. There are three rules for it to become a digital signature, and we have all those three check marks built into the software.
Okay. Well, and then you mentioned Chrome, so the patient or the client doesn't have to download anything except for Chrome, right?
That's right. That's right.
Everybody
It's
uses
not an
Chrome.
app. It runs on Windows, or what is it called? The browser. It runs on browser. They don't need to download anything. As long as they have Chrome installed, they're good to go.
Cool. All right.
So with Zoom, we had to download a software, right, before we started the call.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with this, you don't have to download it.
Okay.
So did that answer your questions, Mike?
Yeah. And for other people who are watching right now, we've got 4 to 5 people in our webinar. Unfortunately, it's not streaming in our Facebook group. But if you have any questions, this is our time and the opportunity to ask CEO and actually the CTO of Therex Portal. So yeah, carry on, Asha.
So you can go back to my slide sorter view, right? The slides are my slides showing up?
Not yet.
So Mike, you appear to be paused. Are you paused?
Nope. While you're looking for that, there's a question here by Kushbu Patel. The question is, does the consent form need to be filled before every tele visit?
So at present, it has to be filled before every televisit. However, I think I attended this APTA webinar recently, with the COVID outbreak. They say if you sign the consent form once during the period of care of the patient, that should be enough. And that's a new policy that APTA put in. So we'll be making changes soon. I know I didn't give an advance notice to Kamal, but Kamal is pretty open about it. So I know we will be doing that shortly.
And there's another question here from Sophia. Do patient need a prescription? Does your portal do the billing? How do we receive payment? That's a great question.
Sure.
I have to set it up on my website, and they pay on my website. I get the payment through Stripe. So how does that work for you, Asha?
Sure. So the patient, we have Stripe initiated through our payments, and what you do is we have Stripe Connect. So your business establishes its own Stripe connection with your bank information and your LLC and whatnot, and you will be able to charge your patients directly before the call. So while you're scheduling the visit, I will demo this all to you. While you're scheduling the visit, you write, is it $50, $100, $200, whatever. And the patient gets a link to pay right there with his credit card, and you collect and the fee goes directly to your bank account.
Stripe
account, yes.
Yeah. The Stripe account are you going to help us set up the Stripe, or do we need to set it up for ourselves?
You have a place where you can set up yourself. You don't need me to set it up, but we have worked with Stripe to create a merchant account for every user. So you don't need to ask me every time. It's built into the software, and it takes you like 10 minutes, and within 10 minutes, you're good to go.
Good, because that's one of my challenges there. I'm not technologically advanced, and
it's
I'm
pretty
very
easy.
challenged.
It's pretty easy.
I'm like, how do I do this? How do I charge, and where do I go, et cetera, et cetera. So there's another question here from Satej. Can PTA be allowed to implement telehealth treatment sessions once the PT create plan of care? after initial eval or re-eval? That is a great question, Satej. But here's the thing. The question, I'm going to throw the question back to you. What are you billing? Are you billing skilled therapy treatment or are you billing wellness treatment? Second would be, are you billing the insurance or cash pay? So that's a very tricky question there, but I would say yes, because I'm a very optimistic person. I would say yes. Why? Because if it's a skilled treatment and the patient is paying cash, why not? You know, I wouldn't. I'll do the eval and I'll let my PTA take care of it. Now, if it's an insurance base, obviously you can't. You know, for example, it's Medicare. Right now, they're not approving it. Right now, I think they're approving e-visits. I guess, Asha, you're
I'm
gonna
going
talk
to,
about that later.
yeah,
The
yeah,
difference
I'm going to talk about that later.
between
I,
telehealth.
I, I want to interrupt you for a quick
Yeah.
moment here, Mike. If I'm not wrong, if the physical therapist sets the plan of care and you are helping as a PTA, you are helping the patient through telehealth, I believe like with certain insurances, you are able to do that. As long as you're not changing the plan of care and you're not reevaluating the patient, which is what your practice guidelines say in a nutshell. And I do agree Medicare does not allow payment even for a physical therapist. So please don't get offended if it doesn't for a PTA.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways, you
there
know.
are ways, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And if you are
There are
cash
ways.
based or if you are billing through health, I have great PTAs who do a great job with Parkinson support group and all that. So why not? Yeah.
Yeah, there are ways. I mean, I'm not saying go out of your scope of practice, but I've seen personal trainers
Mm-hmm.
doing this online and making money.
Of
And,
course, yeah.
you know, I mean, I'm not telling you as a PTA to go outside of your scope of practice, but if a personal trainer can train a person in a wellness setting, you are the most qualified person to do it too. A personal trainer, it's a certification course. It's like a 4-week course or whatever. You know, I mean, I'm sure you're gonna pass that 4-week course. If you're not confident enough, in just don't tell that you're practicing as a therapist. You know, just tell them you're doing personal training. And with this software, it's saying Therex Portal, so you're not saying you're a physical therapist or something. That's a great question there. And it's going to be a long conversation there.
Yes,
There's
yeah.
another question here. I know, Asha.
Okay.
Kay is asking, the website is designed for U.S. health system. Can I make adaptation for Philippine health system? I know this is pet. Actually, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, Kay. Just use this system here, and it's already done for you. All you need to do is use the system, use it while it's free, and then make the most out of it, and then pay after. Because I'm going to tell you now, if you're going to try to reinvent the wheel and then do it on your own, you're going to encounter a lot of hiccups along the way, and you're just going to scratch your head. You're just going to tell yourself, I wish I should have just paid that, Asha and Kamal, and then just get it over with. just like just like a car. Okay, why build your own car when you can just buy whatever, Honda or a Toyota, so I would just do this, instead of reinventing the wheel, use this, because Asha has been doing it and using it from here to India, and then from India to the US. And if that's the case, if you're in the Philippines, you can use it there too.
Yes, it's a web-based solution, so you can
Mhm.
access it anywhere.
Mhm. Another question here from Jennifer. Is Therex Portal available for OTs as well?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes. Physical
Uh,
therapists, occupational therapists, speech language pathologists. Um, who did I miss? Any psychologists, anybody could use it. So it
mm,
has a telehealth platform, um, and it doesn't limit you to be only a physical therapist. As long as you're treating your patient and you're following the practice guidelines set by your profession, you're good to go.
cool. All right. I know I've been asking questions here. We're on a roll now. Uh, Chandra is asking, how about getting doctor's order? That's a great question. In my app, in my software that I use, there's an automatic fax to the doctor. Do you have that too, Asha?
We don't have it. So
You don't have it?
and again, answering the question, it depends on your state guidelines. If you are a
Right.
direct access provider, then you can see the patient and send the information to the doctor and get the order. But if you're not a direct access provider, then you need the order first. So whatever you're doing in person, it's the same thing. Nothing changes, except that you also have to be sure that you're not breaking patients' privacy and you're securing the protected health information. It's a different means of delivering service. So do not breach the practice guidelines at any time. So it basically, if you think of, is this in my regular practice guidelines, then it's the same thing.
Okay, that's a great question there, Chandra. So in my app that I use, or the Hello Note, there's an option there that I can just click and then it will automatically fax to the doctor. So that's what I use for my regular Medicare Part B. So I guess that's a great question there.
I think there is another question from Bhavana about how to decide on how much to charge, and what would be the difference in the price from seeing a person and charging through telehealth, right? So certain states have parity law, and what it means is if you are seeing the patient in person, you are spending an hour, you have a 200K loan from your school or anything, and your skill as a therapist does not change. If I'm a vestibular therapist, if I'm a neurological clinical specialist, I took all the time to be trained and to be comfortable at it and to have gained the expertise. So it's your 1 hour of time. So it shouldn't change or alter because you're delivering the service in a different mode. You're using a different mode of treatment. So many states have parity law. Just check with the state guidelines if they have parity law. And if they do not have the parity law and you're billing cash pay, whatever Medicare pays you for through insurance, charge them the same amount of money.
Yeah. Okay. Quintisa, that's a nice name, Quintisa. I hope I'm saying that name right. But her question is cash payment only, or they can use insurance too. So
you can use both. Yeah.
There you go. Do you want to answer all these questions now?
Why don't we go with the demo? Because as we are doing the slides, most of these questions will be answered.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's do that because I have all your answers in the slideshow.
Cool. All right.
So let's do that. In that way, you'll have a visual reminder as well. Okay. So we are going through telehealth, the exercise program, and let me show all these things. How do you share screen? How do you super bill? So let's jump into the demo right here. So I'm going to stop this share and share a new screen with the demo.
Do we need to have a fancy chair like yours, Asha? Like a CEO chair?
Is that what it's called?
I need a CTO chair too, like Kamal there. I mean, look at that fancy chair there, man.
Hey, Mike, this is to help with my backaches.
Well, I can telehealth you now, man.
Can you see the screen of the application Therex Portal?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So this is let me show you how to navigate through this first. So this is the home exercise program platform. And we'll go through tele-rehab first, and then we'll jump to the home exercise program because I know.
Asha, I think you are probably sharing a wrong screen.
Yeah.
We see your mail.
What do you see? My mail?
Right.
Okay, so let me put it back here. Now, do you see it?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Go towards your bank account. Could you show me your bank account?
It doesn't have much money, brother. You'll feel sorry and donate me money.
All right, we see it now.
Okay. So we are in the tele-rehab. What I did was maybe it was too fast. So I click this tele-rehab button here. Do you see it on the top header? So you click the tele-rehab button, and that takes you to the registration to the tele-rehab portal. I'm going to pull this over to this side. So to register, you enter your credentials. So whoever is on the other side, you can do it right now. It takes you less than 30 seconds to register. So you enter your first name, last name, credentials. So Mike, I'm going to ask you, shall I create an account for you?
Yeah. So Tasha, this is me registering as a therapist, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is you registering as a therapist.
Okay.
And then when it sends the email, you are going to share your screen. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I would say you're a PT. And Mike, what's your email?
Mike at TN Therapy, THERAPY, outsource, OUTSOURCE.com.
Okay. So what would you like your password to be?
Put telehealth.
So I'm giving the capital T, okay? And a uppercase at the rate.
At what?
At the rate symbol. A special character. Telehealth at 1.
At 1. So you're the company that asks to put one capital, one number, and one special character, huh? I hate those.
It's a HIPAA requirement.
I guess, right? Let me write it down before I forget. Telehealth.
At 1.
At 1. Okay. All right.
Oh, I re-entered it wrong. Let's try it again.
See, told you. Too much letters and numbers. So.
Telehealth at 1. Okay. At 1. Okay, there we go. So I'll give your room name, Mike, and Therex Telehealth. And Mike, is this mandatory?
My number?
Yeah, can you give a number that you don't want to share with all?
Oh, I can share my number. 731.
1 second. 731.
882. 7783. That's my office number.
Okay. So you pick USA here, and you're not a robot, and save and proceed. So your registration is done, bam. So now, Mike, you can go to your email, and you can take over the screen sharing now.
So go to my email.
Evaluations, progress notes, or discharges. So while Mike is going to the email, I'm going to answer Rebecca's question. Can this platform be used to conduct evaluations, progress notes, or discharges? So Rebecca, I'm understanding that you would like to have documentation in the system. So right now we do not have documentation in the system. And most therapists have been using G Suite, private practitioners, because it's HIPAA compliant and you can modify and customize your own documentation forms in it.
So you don't have the progress note and eval paperwork there yet?
Yes, we don't have documentation in it. We have the exercise program, we have the telehealth, we have billing, we have scheduling, we have the BAA, but we don't have documentation yet.
So speaking of
Asha, do you want to talk about SOAP?
Yes.
Implementation?
Yes. So we are envisioning adding a SOAP note, a subjective objective assessment and plan, and also giving you a documentation system that you can customize it. What I end up doing as you are more and more experienced, you change. You don't like things to fit in boxes. You modify it a lot. So we are envisioning a platform where you have the liberty to modify and customize it based on your own expertise. And we will create a template, but it's not fixed, so you can adapt it and use it.
I still don't have the email, Asha.
Maybe I gave you a wrong email.
Maybe I gave you the wrong email.
So, but that's okay. So let me go ahead and show you the application. But that's the process. And what it does is when you are in the email, it will give you a secure code, and then you enter the secure code, and then you're registered. So now that I am in the application system, so let me navigate you through the application system. On the left-hand side, you'll see dashboard, schedules, account settings, payment settings, provider search. Provider search is for you to market yourself. So let's say if I am treating patients with stroke, and if a patient, this is open to patients. So if the patient says, I want to be treated for stroke, then they put that. And if you register yourself as a tele rehab provider, then you will come up, and you can also be searched by zip code. So this is a way where you can market yourself and put this link on your website, so patients can find you wherever they are, and like you could be marketed. So we are trying to help therapists with their marketing as well. So Kamal, should I try registering with a new email? Or we can just show the videos too.
Yeah, either way, Asha, I think.
Yeah. So the registration is pretty simple and straightforward. So however, when you first register, then you would also sign a business associate agreement. And I want to show you that. So give me 1 second.
So Asha, it doesn't have the EMR yet, right? So
it does not have
you
the
recommend
EMR.
G Suites?
G Suite, yes.
Okay. I've been using Hello Note. So for those people who want to use Hello Note, they've been very good to me. His name is Steve. He's the CEO too, and it's just $45 a month if you don't want to reinvent the wheel. Some people are also using like what Asha said, G Suites. But how much is the G Suites? I think it's
$10.
It's $10, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to customize it to your practice.
Mm-hmm.
So and you have to modify. You can add and modify and everything. But I didn't want to waste time figuring it out. With Hello Note, everything is in there. It's integrated with a billing system. And then all I need to do is just click submit, and it submits to the insurance company. So you can use that Hello Note. If you need it, just reach out to me, and I'll connect you to the CEO himself too. So
that's great, Mike. So I'm just going to stop here. So once you register to the application, the first screen it takes you it forces you to sign a business associate agreement. And when you are in the business associate agreement, you have to type the name of the business. So for Mike, it's a therapy outsource. And you then say the nature of the business. Is it an LLC, an S Corp, a C Corp? And you fill that in. And at the bottom of the screen, I said John Doe Rehabilitation, so that came up. And what your name is, and what your position is, what your title is. Are you a director? Are you the CEO? Are you the manager? So once you sign the business associate agreement, it will stay in your account settings, and this is where you can retrieve it. So when you are practicing telehealth, sometimes you can be audited, and when you are audited, they may ask you for a business associate agreement. So we are making sure you follow all the guidelines and policies that you may not be aware of, but it should become easy for you. So it takes you like less than 30 seconds to fill that out, because all it says asks you is your name, the nature of your business, and the name of your business. So once you complete the business associate agreement, if you want to charge your patients, so let's say, some of you asked, how do we bill our patients? So you go to the account settings and then the payment settings. So in the payment settings, this is how your initial screen would look like. You would click the button that says charge and receive payments. And here, from here, it's all your information, your business details and everything, your employer identification number. Are you the sole proprietor? What kind of business it is? So in the business description, however, there is an option for telehealth. So pick go to medical services, and then pick telemedicine and telehealth. So it identifies you as a telemedicine and telehealth service. And when once you complete these details, the bank statements and everything, and you authorize access to this account, it will take you 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and then Stripe immediately activates you. And you should be good to go.
That's for the, what do you call this? For the
charging and paying, receiving payments.
Okay. Well, there's while they were working on that video there's several questions here. Laura was asking, do you have personal liability insurance? I would say yes. You need to have that. You need to have that. I mean, especially now with everything's going on, you need to have that. Whether that company pays your liability insurance or not, you have to protect yourself. There are a lot of very affordable out there for businesses. What I have is American Professional. They're very affordable. If you go to HPSO, if you got extra money, you can use HPSO, but it's so expensive for small businesses like me. So go to American Professional or PT1, and there's another one that they recommend. I forgot, but just Google American Professional, PT1, and there's another one. But yeah, you need that to protect yourself. Chandra,
when you are asking the liability insurance company, mention that you're doing telehealth services so that they could be added to your liability as well.
That's right.
There are two different domains that you're practicing, so that could be added to it too.
Yeah, you add it. So American Professional covers it. So you need that, because I asked them that because I said, well, I do online consultation through educating caregivers. So can you cover that? So they covered that for me. So that's a great question there. Thank you for asking, Laura. Chandra and Bill is asking, what if we don't have a website, EIN or LLC? Chandra was asking, if I don't have a business. If you really want to make this as a profession, I would recommend you start a business because you need to separate yourself from you need to be a business. You need to make it professional.
Yes, you need to have a business.
If you're applying, go ahead.
You can be a sole proprietor too. But
I know it sounds scary. Hey, do I need to do LLC or whatever? Start with a simple local business license. Go to your local municipality, get a $30, $40 DBA there, and then go from there. Just make it formal. And then once you have that DBA or whatever if you're a sole proprietorship, that's good. And then as you get bigger, you got extra money to start, go start your LLC. I did the hard way and the expensive way. I went through, what is this? Direct incorporation. I paid like $2,500, but along the way, I'm talking to different business owners. Some people, they've just spent like $250 to get their LLC. If you know a good accountant, go ahead and ask them, hey, can you help me start my LLC? You want to, it also depends on your state, what state you're at. So you need to make it formal, because let's just say it like this: if you don't have a business structure, you're not in business. And if you're just doing a hobby, and this is if you're just gonna do this, it's just a hobby. But if you want to make money out of it and make a business out of it, make it formal. So get your LLC. Bill said the EIN and et cetera, et cetera. So should someone get a website, EIN, LLC before they get this platform? That's a great question, Bill. But before I answer that, Bill, nice to see you, Bill. I would say use the platform now. Use the platform now. Learn inside, go inside, learn, play around with it. And then while you're applying for your LLC, it's going to be fast. It's probably going to be a month or so. Then now
Kamal?
you already know, and then you're all locked and loaded. So yeah.
Kamal, how long does it take to create an EIN? It's pretty fast, right?
It is.
Before you could get an EIN, you need to have an LLC first.
Right.
Or
That's right.
DBA.
But it didn't take too long, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's usually depending upon the state, the LLC registrations vary anywhere from 5 to 10 business days. But in our case, it was quicker. With EIN, it is instantaneous after you create the LLC. So, and again, you don't need to really have a website to open up the Stripe account. But I think Mike was mentioning earlier, it's always good to isolate the any income that comes from the business. Again, I am not an accountant, so please consult with your accountant if you have one. But in general, it's better to isolate your income. So if you are a personal practitioner, I think it still would help you if you have a business account. Otherwise, you can also refer to Stripe on opening up non-business related activity accounts. But we don't really recommend that. That must be the long answer. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. That you have been very clear in the answer. So that's good.
Yeah. So if you're good. I mean, we've had people. I know people who are actually just doing this full time. So if you really want to do this, make it formal. Start your own business, and everything could be deductible in your tax. Just to let you know, if you have your own business LLC and everything like that, or whatever structure that you set up, partnership or whatever. Like what Kamal said, we're not CPAs here. So whatever business structure that you set up, you can declare those stuff that you bought, the computer, the camera, the lights, the internet that you use here at home, your home office, your microphone, your cell phone, you can declare that in your tax and save you some money there too. So it will work to your advantage actually. So, and Bill knows that. I mean, he does that. He's at home. So he's a work at home guy. So.
That's good. So I'm going to answer Rebecca's question and we are going to move on to the application. So Rebecca asked if this could be used in conjunction with WebPT and any EMR. Yes, of course. So we are, your home exercise program is a big part of your practice. So we have a very strong home exercise program built, and then you have a very strong telehealth platform built. So you could use both. And then for documentation and billing insurance, if you're billing insurance, you can bill it through WebPT and you can treat them here. I don't see why not. Absolutely, yes. So now, and I'm going to now show you how to invite the patient and actually bill them. So let's say I'm picking a schedule. So you can pick a schedule, you can set a time, and then you're going to enter your patient's name. So let's say the patient is John Doe. And I'm going to give you my so when you enter the mobile number, add 1 to it so that and that's a requirement to add the country code, okay? And whatever duration that you have and the fee that you want to charge. So let's say we are going to charge $5, okay? Of course, you are not going to charge $5. This is just for testing purpose, okay? And then here, you would just say, please sign the consent form and join call, okay? So that's what you could do. And then you invite the patient. As you invite the patient, you can see that the appointment is successfully created and the patient is invited through email. So we have John Doe, and here in the status, you would say invitation sent. So now I'm going to open another window here to see if the patient, I gave my own email ID. So you can see that Therex Telehealth, there is a meeting invitation from Asha Kumari. Can you see that? So You click that, and this is your meeting invitation. And when you click that, it takes you to the patient consent form. So the patient has to enter these details and the specific rules of this. So what we are doing with this, this is the beauty of it. I so love it. I'm going to explain you why. So if I'm if the patient is residing in Utah, okay, I don't have the license to practice in Utah, right? So the patient, as part of your practice guidelines, you should be treating the patient in the same state that you're practicing in. So here, I know that the therapist is licensed in Pennsylvania. So if the patient says like he's living in Utah, you know, even before you open the call that you shouldn't be treating that patient, right? So you're cross-validating this one more time to make sure it's not breaching any practice guidelines. So we know that the patient is living in Pennsylvania, you are licensed in Pennsylvania, and this is your information. And then at the end, so this is what I have explained to you, Mike, earlier, that if you type your name in full, and then you click one of this checkbox, okay? So you have the patient reads what is telehealth, what are the benefits, how is the confidentiality maintained, and if there are any risks to it. So this is the patient consent form. And then you know on which specific date that the patient has consented and the time. So these doesn't need to be filled. They automatically get auto-populated from this form. And then you click I agree. So that's your consent form. And here you can just pay with your card number. I'm not going to show you this, but you can add these details here and process payment. And then it goes to your bank account directly.
Okay.
So if I'm going back to the telehealth invitation, so as I go back here, I know the invitation is accepted. And if I want to see the patient consent form, it's right there. John Doe has consented, and the location is Pennsylvania, and you know where, and his signature right there. So you are following the HIPAA guidelines. You're following your practice guidelines without you even putting any effort into it. And now, go ahead. Do you have any questions?
Oh, I said that. Okay.
That's okay. That's good. So, and you can charge all the fees and everything right here. So when I click this link open, I can, oh, the patient hasn't paid a fee. So let's go ahead and pay the fee. So when the patient, it tells you if the patient hasn't paid, then it will tell you the patient hasn't paid. So let me go ahead and move the screen over, and then I will pay $5 and you'll be able to see it. So as the patient pays the fees, then it activates the information and it activates you to call the patient. So the video call doesn't activate if the patient does not pay the fee.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's good.
That's good. Yes.
Protects you, and you just there's an excuse that you tell the patient, hey, it won't go through.
It won't
it's
go
the
through.
app, so it's not me.
Yeah, blame me, whatever you want.
Yep.
But if you want to, that being said, if you want to have a discovery visit, or if you want to promote yourself as a therapist, you know, you can just click 0 in there, and then it will allow you to.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's
it
good.
will allow you to treat the patient.
Okay.
Okay. So now I paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I refresh this, see there you get the link to join the call. And here you can also, once the call is completed, I'm not going to activate the call right now because we are using this webcam. However, I'll show you a video as to how the call looks like. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you might be so this is a super bill. So let's say I'm treating a patient for ambulatory dysfunction. So Mike, can you look up the ICD code for it, please?
The what?
ICD code, the ambulatory dysfunction.
I don't know. Ambulatory dysfunction.
So it's 781.2. Okay.
It says here R26.9. Well, go ahead, whatever you see there.
R26.9. Okay. Okay. And then the procedure code. So it depends on how you're treating the patient. So if it's a direct call, or you're treating them with Therex therapeutic activity, whatever you're doing. So let's say, one second, let me go back to my slides. I don't remember these on top of my
You
head, but I
can
have.
97110.
Perfect, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the description. So whatever you're trying to do, and then the fee associated with it. So if you want to say you only charge them $5 and then you gave them 4 units, then if you click this, the patient receives a super bill and it will also be sent to you. So since I gave this email to the patient, I received the super bill here. So this is how oops, sorry about that. So I received the super bill here. So you can see the office procedure, diagnosis, the provider name, and you can sign it, and you can, as you enter your tax ID, your NPI number, your license number, that gets here. So this could be submitted as a claim by the patient. So none of this is true just for the purpose of demonstration, but for the actual generation of super bill, please use your NPI number and your EIN number and all those things. And this is where you would update all that information, your license number, your tax ID number, your NPI number, and then the state that you're practicing in. And if you notice it, I did not enter the state that I practice in. It gets auto-populated. So all it takes you is 10 minutes to set this up, and then you are good to go for every patient. It's built in such a way that it makes it easy for you to use it on any number of patients. And if you want to track the earlier patients, so if you go to schedules, you'll see the schedules that are complete and that are in progress here. And this is for today and tomorrow. So we are showing 2 days schedules here. Okay, the visits for 2 days. And let me now, did I answer your questions?
Yeah. Well, I guess let's go back to some of those questions here. I saw a question from Bill. Bill, where did that go? Bill was asking, where did that go? Well, he was asking we shouldn't see any patient until we get I recommend, Bill, start seeing patient, start practicing. Since you have this free software for a month or whatever Asha's going to give us, I would recommend start practicing, because telehealth is a totally different ball game. And I mean, I know you're comfortable in the camera and everything, Bill, but you need to be, comfortable with the software. You need to be comfortable with going in, getting in and out of the system. And that way, when you really face your actual paying client, boom, you're already comfortable. You can just go along with it, because it's going to probably take like 10-15 minutes for the initial evaluation to set you up, because your client will ask, hey, I have problems with my headset. I can't do this. I can't do that. And if you are not comfortable in the, not really versed with everything that's going on, and then you start charging patients, you're gonna have not a good experience there. So practice on me, Bill. Practice on me. use Asha's software and call me. Hey, I need to be treated, and that way we get used to it. I'll use the phone. I need to, how angle. Do I need to be in landscape or in the portrait mode? And the first, this is just by my experience. The first few minutes while you're talking to the patient, you're not actually treating. You're not evaluating. You're actually educating the patient to use the software and use the microphone, use the headset, put it in the right angle. And That way you're getting used to it. So when you see an actual paying client, boom, it's like, it's easy now. So I hope that makes sense. All right.
Can you see my slides, Mike?
Yep, I can see it again.
Perfect. Perfect. So I hope I explained you the telehealth registration, how to sign the BAA, and you could also find the profile in your profile settings, and your scheduling and inviting your patients. And yes, I totally need the slides because I do forget a lot because of the ADD. So I am just going to show you how the call works. Okay.
The call.
Yeah, the actual video call. You can see the screen, correct?
Yeah, I can see your slides, your PowerPoint slides. While you're setting that up, Bill has another question. I actually meant, should we charge patients or treat for free? I would start free discovery calls first. If you are not, if you're starting, work with your friends, family members, start with that. And then as you get better and as you get more confident, because evaluating a patient or a client on telehealth is totally different. It's totally different when it comes to actual face-to-face evaluation, because in actually face-to-face evaluation, you're there, you can see their body language, you can see they're uncomfortable in that sitting position, and then you can actually touch them and tap them. Hey, how can I help? In telehealth, it's totally different, man. It's just weird. So what I would recommend, you take, I know you've taken it, the total motion release. Take that online course, Total Motion TMR. It's going to teach you a lot how to do telehealth evaluation and treatment. So that's a great question there, Bill. So I would start with treating for free with your family members. So yeah.
So
There's another. Yeah, go ahead, Asha.
So when once you're in the application, like we showed the consent form, and you're verifying the consent form. So let me pull this information here. And then your patient has accepted, and then you click join call. And when you join the call, this is how your screen would look like. And this is how the patient screen looks like. So let me open up one more window here. So what works beautifully with this application is that you can share exercises. You can share exercises through a screen share. So the windows are behind here. So you can see these windows here. So one of the window is a screen share. When you click that window, right now I'm evaluating the patient's Saccards and smooth pursuits. I can see vertical nystagmus right there, and which is a central sign. So it helps you, see the patient pretty clearly. And now what I would do is I would share the screen. So you can see the button that says, that shows the window. So if you click that button, you can see the screen. You can, just like we are doing Zoom right now and you can see my screen, it will do the same. You can show them the exercises. Right now, my intent is to teach her VR exercises. So I'm showing her how the exercise looks like, where she needs to set herself up. And as the patient views the exercises, it makes it much easier for her to understand, comprehend, and then perform the exercises. Now, I can also take the patient through the application form. I can educate her on getting familiar with the application form. And I'm showing her how she needs to do. And then as the patient clicks the button, you can see the exercise adherence completion. So as I said, if your patient has pain, she can document pain, and then you get it on your therapist and in the home exercise program. So we always use it together for better success. And also when you're demonstrating the exercises, I find it hard to step away from the window and then stand and demonstrate. And sometimes the camera doesn't capture the entire motion. So it becomes very difficult if you're moving back and forth a lot. But if you have a good home exercise program, it makes it so much easier to treat the patient. So when once you completed the call, you can, what I would do is to schedule the next call with the patient and help them with the application and prepare them in advance. So that's the demo of the um, telehealth platform. So let me just take a moment to show you the Therex Portal platform.
Okay, so while you're looking for that, there's a question from Josephine. That's a great question there. How do you perform MMT?
Manual muscle testing, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, so obviously you cannot identify 4 and 5, right? Between 4 and 5, but you could do you could see if how long the patient can hold the leg. Like if you are, excuse me, if you are testing knee extension, if the patient is lifting the leg and may be able to hold it for 30 seconds, or if they're using a weight and holding it, that probably is a 4 or 4+. And then if they could hold it longer, that is 5, but it's not traditionally MMT. So I don't think I answered your question. I went around. I don't think there is a true identification between 4+, and 5. I would just base it on my experience and
I
how
would do
long
a
she could hold.
standardized test. So,
Yeah, I don't think. Mhm.
for example, you want to know the knee extension strength. So maybe do a 5 times sit to stand.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
5 times sit to
That's it.
stand. So that's a good way. So you just have to be creative. This is where you come in as a. I mean, if you're gonna watch what Bill and I were talking about, the total motion release by Tom Delonso. I hope I'm saying his name right. You will be amazed how he does telehealth. I mean, he's teaching telehealth online, and he does all this crazy stuff. You know, I forgot what he calls it, yummy and yucky movement. So yummy and yucky movement, and it's just amazing how he connects with his clients because he's just very creative. So you just have to be creative, and because this is not a traditional setting, you know. So if you're thinking about doing MMT, it's going to be hard to identify. So you have to be creative with your standardized test, find the appropriate test for that specific client. And obviously, if the patient really needs manual therapy, you refer them out to to their local clinic. So not all can be
Not everybody
provided.
can be
Yeah.
treated.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're correct. You're absolutely right. So that's a great example. You could also do a timed up and go. So if and for my patients who are neurologically impaired, I get the most success from the caregiver. So, and there are so many subjective measures that you could collect from the patient that give you valuable information. So if we are having a knee function that's impaired, the LEFS, the knee outcome survey, we can all use those and that give us valuable information. And for dizziness, DHI, MSQ, like the DHI, Rivermead, those give me valuable information too. So it depends on a combination of subjective measures. And if you could do some objective measures with caregivers help, I would do that.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's good. Yeah, that's good.
So,
Uh,
so let
yeah.
me just take you. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
So for the Therex Portal Home Exercise Program, you would follow the same guidelines as registering. And if you're a single clinician, you would click the clinician registration, and that takes you through it. And after you register yourself, you'll have a login ID and password, and then you enter the home exercise program here. You can add a patient. You can add their email ID, mobile number, and the country that they reside in. Please choose USA so that and here you do not have to add any number because you have chosen the country here. So now I click John Doe, and then that takes me to the home exercise program. So this is where the exercises live. So we have neurology. Within neurology, we have stroke, spinal cord injury, Parkinson's. We have vestibular, and they are divided based upon the your clinical decision making. BPPV, maneuvers, adaptation, oculomotor, habituation, substitution. Are you trying to remove visual reliance to improve their vestibular organization? and gait training. And for geriatrics, it's balance, peripheral neuropathy. And for, I think most of you may be orthopedic clinicians, you have knee replacement, hip replacement, and then they are divided into phases. And for low back pain, you have directional preference, mobility deficit, movement coordination deficit, and shoulder rehabilitation. So it has lots of exercises. So let's say I chose stroke, and then I want to work on lower quarter, okay? And I want to give them, some mobility exercises, okay? So I can see like how they narrowed down. And I can also type in hamstring stretch here. And if I do that, I see all the hamstring stretches. So you can see like how within a fraction of a second, it narrows down. And it makes it so much easy for you to prescribe the exercises. I know some of you are from India here, some of you are from Philippines. We have people of other languages that they speak. So if I want to choose, let's say my friend here, Vijay, speaks Telugu. So if I choose Telugu, you can see the instructions in Telugu.
Oh, wow.
So, and you can also, like, if you know the language, you can also edit these instructions and it transcribes it for you. I know it doesn't make sense. I'm just going to say, perform it the same way on the opposite leg, okay? So I am phonetically typing it. And you can see like how the language, the unique letters change. That's what's unique to this platform.
Really? Oh, wow. So
So
is it linked to like Google Translate or something like that?
it's not translator. You as a therapist should know the language.
Oh.
So however, the instructions that are already inside this are written by medical translators. So they are authentic instructions that are not taken from Google Translate. The reason why we didn't use Google Translate is when I type a sentence and I ask it to translate, majority of the time it loses its context. And then the interpretation of it is so reverse that it loses the meaning of the sentence.
So the pre content is already done.
Yes.
It's already, okay.
It's already built in. And if you need to change it, then you can, if you know the language, then it's easy for you to change it.
Oh, wow. Well, you got big vision here, Asha.
Of course, we have to help our people, right? So all of you
are you going to pay me to translate that to my language?
Of course. What?
So just to add, Asha, quickly, one thing. I believe it was Kay who asked about having this in Philippines.
That's right.
And then I think this is exactly what we can do with the Philippine market, where we can provide the instructions in the local language, and you can prescribe these exercises to your patients based on the region you are in.
And we have thousands of exercises. And, when you speak about literacy, it's not that if you speak English, only then you're literate. People speak so many languages and they're literate and they're smart and educated. So if we are not preaching to them, we are not instructing them in their own language, then we are limiting the comprehension of the patient and also their ability to participate in the exercises. And so does the recovery gets delayed and protracted.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I got Spanish speaking patients every now and then, and I have a hard time explaining it. So yeah. There's a great question here by Lakshmi. How about with range of motion? Do you have that app that measures the range of motion?
We talked about it. Me and Kamal talked about it. What we are envisioning is to, with the screen sharing, we are envisioning it to actually draw angles and then take the range of motion. And we are also envisioning to use a stopwatch where you can track the patient sit to stand, 5 times sit to stand, 30 seconds sit to stand, and also timed up and go. We have big vision for this. We also want to do AR, VR, but one step at a time. And I sometimes get overexcited. And, we also have another director who basically levels me and Kamal out. Kamal is like my twin. He's workaholic too. and Madan is like the neutral substance, neutral person that like, hey, you guys settle down first. So
Yeah.
so we have a great team, and we have awesome IT support, and they're all hardworking.
There you go.
We'll do it one step at a time. Yes.
Yeah.
So try using it first, see if you need anything. And what I really want from you guys is to own it, and you have this great feature of upload exercise. So if you do not have any exercise, you can upload it. You can create it in your own exercise list. You can create your own database of exercises. And it's so simple, so easy to use. And majority of my time, I spend educating patients. A well-informed, well-educated patient is the patient who recovers faster. And we have educational information from NIH, National Institute of Stroke, National Institute of Orthopedics, Christopher Dana Reeves Organization, Vestibular Disorders Association. We have information, we have education handouts from all of these people, and so many more that I could think of on top of my head. And we have compiled a nice list of educational handouts. And Mike, my brother, you can see, I know you're a certified dementia expert. We have educational handouts for patients with dementia and what is vascular dementia, types of dementia, how do you cope with it, end of life care. I, like play around with it, see it, and I love it. It's like my baby, but I want you to see it and make it your own baby too.
Is it also translated to each different languages?
It's not. Some that's what we will work on next, but it's not translated. We have some that are Spanish though. We have some educational handouts that are Spanish, but not in other languages. We, however, do have our own YouTube channel, which has videos in Telugu. If you would like to give it to your patients, you can also do that.
Cool. All right.
And when you create a home exercise program, if the patient performs the exercises, you can track their compliance here as well. So let's say I'm giving this exercise. Let me share it to myself. So I can text myself. So when I text myself, I immediately get the exercises in my phone through a web link. And as I perform the exercises, and if I click exercise done, then that gets translated, that gets updated live here, and you can see the patient's compliance. And if they have any concerns, you'll see this button blink, and you can see it right there, and you'll be able to identify what the problem is. And part of the e-portal asks you to get information from your patient. So even beyond the visit. So our patient portal that we have does that. It allows the patient to communicate with you beyond the visit. And especially with the telehealth module that you're doing, or telehealth practice, you would want to keep engaging the patient, keep listening to the patient, make them feel like they are cared for. So, and the patient would love it. They know that, they can text you anytime without actually texting you on phone. And you are also respecting your own privacy, that you're not giving your phone number to everybody, So we do have those patients who need a lot of help, and we want to maintain our work-life balance too. So, the patient can see videos in real time, and it's a combination of both the telehealth and home exercise program is what makes us so unique and so awesome. And that's what helped me really when treating patients in India, because of the exercise platform and also the telehealth.
Oh, wow.
And let's get back. I think most of your questions, do we have any other questions?
Yeah, for those people who we haven't answered the questions, do you mind posting it again? I lost some of it. But let me go back to some of the questions and answer. Chandra was asking, can you elaborate on sole proprietorship? What do you want me to elaborate there, Chandra? Well, I guess your first question is, I don't have a business, but I work for myself. If you're working for yourself, like what I said earlier, you want to make it formal. You want to start your own business because a business without a sign is a sign of no business, right? So you got to make sure you have a business set up. So different businesses have what do you call this? Different setup. So if you're a sole proprietorship, it means you're the only owner. The next business structure would be partnership, wherein you've got for example, me and Asha are partners, quote unquote. So that's a partnership. Another business setup is a corporation. So there's different types of corporation. S corp. Help me out here, Asha.
S corp, C corp.
C corp.
Yes, and as a Chandra, if I'm not misinterpreting you, so if you would like to establish a business by yourself, you would establish it as a single member LLC. So LLC can also be with partners, but if you want to be the sole owner and be responsible for yourself and make it quick and easy, I would go with the sole member LLC. So you're the sole owner of it. And when you submit W-2s claims, the taxes, you can include the income with your regular job and also this together. So because nobody else is responsible for the business. So I think that would be the easiest way to start with first.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for reminding me. So, single member LLC. So, that's the quickest way, because when you are a sole proprietor, if the company gets sued, they get everything to you. You get sued, the whole, they get everything. But if you are a single, my shoulder's hurting. If you are a single member LLC, what they're gonna, so basically it's limited. How about limited liability company?
Limited liability company.
So they can only get what you have in your company, not your house,
right.
not your car or whatever.
Yes,
so
that's right.
So yeah, so that's the difference there. Oh gosh, my shoulder hurt there. I need movement.
Oh.
Quintessa is asking, can I have patients from compact states? You know what? That's always a question when it comes to telehealth. I'm not discouraging you, but work what you have right now. Work what you have right now. Work with what you have in your state, because right wherever you are, you've got patients there. You got patients there. So try to get what you have right now. Right now, I'm here in Tennessee. I'm seeing patients in Tennessee. And then as you get better, and then as you get more clout on your influence online, then you start going out on those compact states. And it's going to be tricky because there will be, different states requires different requirement. And
the practice guidelines vary by state. So you have to keep track of that as well.
Yes. So use or do what state you are right now, because you already know what you have in your state. You already know the rules in your state, and then just get patients there for now. And then as you get better at it, boom, you start growing. So I hope that makes sense. All right.
So Mike, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen. Can you show me your bank account again? Just kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
So
go.
Thank you. So we've completed the video call, we completed the screen sharing and the super bill. So this is from my personal experience. I take a lot of feedback from my patients. It always helps me because not every patient is the same. Some people would like to be spoken to differently. Some people need a little more encouragement. Some people, like if you talk a lot, they don't, they think you are talking too much, so it always helps me. And if there are any difficulties with their call, I also get that information so I could improve the next time. Because we're all starting new. The more feedback you get, the sharper you become. And always schedule the next visit before you end the call.
That's right. A sales is not a sale until it is closed. So same thing. A sale is not a sale until you collect. That's what I meant.
That's right.
Same thing with scheduling. Always think at the end in mind. When you write the plan of care, for example, 2 week, whatever, 2 week 4, 2 week 6. as much as possible, you schedule them now, as early as now. And it's not because you're too aggressive, but you want to schedule them out because you want to, you want to make sure that they're also following their plan of care, that you're there, not just you're there, you're serious about the business, you're serious about making them better, and at the same time you're serious about making telehealth work for you and the client. So that's right, making sure you're scheduling. So that's good.
That's good. Yep. And we did go with the BAA where it lives, right? In the account settings, you can find the business associate agreement, and you can also update your profile there. We've gone through activating Stripe account. We've invited patients through email, and you can use screen sharing to show them the exercises. You could also demonstrate the exercises and then prescribe the exercises. Now, telehealth is such a evolving field, so the rules and regulations change all the time. And I, at a point of time, like my head spun, like last week when they came up with the COVID and everything, like Pennsylvania says this, APTA says this, the CMS says something else, and the connected health says something else. Like to put all of that together, it's overwhelming to everybody. So I just try to make it simple, and then it follows through a certain checklist. So hopefully it will help you. And there is no way that any person can tell you what your specific state requirements is and if this insurance accepts this or not, because as I said, nobody knows it all. So you also have to do your due diligence when you're trying to charge your patients or have them pay through insurance. And I'll explain you how successful you could get through it. In that way, you can be your own advocate. So when we get to the policies, okay, so when I first explained HIPAA policies, these are set up like for a good reason. So every business must have a business associate agreement. What a business associate agreement does is, so we have your patient protective information, and we take measures to make it very secure, like store it on HIPAA secure servers, have it double encrypted, have dual verification, do all those things so that the data is protected. As a therapist, you do not know any of that. So our business makes you sign a business associate agreement. Like Mike's business is networking, outsource therapy care. So outsource therapy care signs a business associates with Therex Health. So we know that the information that is received and shared is protected. And when you get audited through Medicare or through any person, you know that you can just share with them, hey, I signed the business associate agreement this time, and you can see it here. So because that's one of the auditing requirements, what people get frequently audited for. So when we try to keep it hidden, most therapists from lack of knowledge forget it. So we make sure you're signing the BAA so you stay compliant. And all data must be encrypted with highest security standards, and we take care of that. And HIPAA policies must be in place to train all staff members. So let's say Mike has 4 employees. He needs to roll out like even a PowerPoint presentation as to what HIPAA is, how do you protect information, and then you document it such that you say like all your employees are trained on HIPAA policies. And if you're using computer, I also want to tell you here, Windows 10 does encryption, comes with encryption by default. So if you have a Windows laptop with Windows 10, it comes encrypted. So there are certain things that you want to make sure to keep your data encrypted. And our platform makes you auto log off if you stay idle. So the patient information is not flashing in front of you or in front of like any of your family members. So all this, and I know Mike asked, are you one of those people who ask for so many things? That's a HIPAA regulation, and we make sure you have met all that requirements of 8 to 12 alphabets, special characters, all that. I know it's annoying, but if you work in a larger healthcare organization, you know it by now that it's mandatory. And
That's true.
That's true. And also you have to, in addition to the HIPAA policy, you also have to make sure you are complying with the state practice guidelines. So it always comes down to state practice. Even if you have a federal law, if your state does not accept telehealth, then you are stuck. Then you can't do much. So look at your state practice guidelines. Explain, you as if you're a telehealth practitioner, you have to explain the benefits and risks of telehealth practice to your patient. And we make sure that with our patient consent form, it's automatically built into the system. You don't have to do a thing. You are seeking informed consent. Now with informed consent, different states have different practice guidelines. Some say verbal is enough. Some say you need it documented. Hey, but why? You have it documented right there. You can retrieve it anytime. You're not worried about it. So let's be more, we made it easy for you. You don't have to, if you have a documented evidence, then it overpowers the verbal consent. So you are well prepared for it. And the therapist must be licensed in the same state that the patient is residing in. As the patient fills the consent, you can see what state that the patient picked there, what entered, and then you validate if you are practicing in the same state, and then you're good to go. And if you're part of compact and you are licensed in one of the compact states, your patient is also residing there, you can also validate it there. And you're also providing a means to your patient to validate your credentials. With our search provider list, if you notice it at the end of the search provider list, we have an FSPPT link for the patient to see if the license number is correct. So that is part of the practice guidelines, that you have to let your patient know that you are licensed. So if they want to look it up, they can look it up. You're also providing them a means to look you up and research your experiences. And if the patient's insurance offers telehealth services, you always have to go with the insurance first. And if the insurance does not offer telehealth services, then you charge them with private pay. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Always bill the insurance if it's part of its benefit. And as I said, like, we sneaked in compliance without you even realizing. We are signing BAA. You can, as you update your profile, you're giving the patient all that information that is needed for them. And the patient verifies which state you're licensed in. And from the patient end, he signs the consent, he verifies the therapist, and then the patient can view a profile of you, which is also a requirement for telehealth. So with COVID, this is the command chain that I was talking to you about. So the center of connected health is what is the higher end here that states, hey, do these policies, let's enforce this. And then the APTA gets information from the Center of Connected Health and also CMS. And then it gives us webinars, all that information, FAQs, and all those things. And there are two good resources from APTA that you could look up. One is a private practice special interest group, and the other is the telemedicine special interest group. So you can, I think it has a different name to it, technology, I think, technology adapt, something like that. Yeah. So if you sign up to both, you'll get information updates from both of these. And if you're also a member of your state body, I get information almost every day with this COVID outbreak, so I can keep myself informed. So in the state licensing board, like if you look at the website, it gives you information on telehealth practice guidelines. So if telehealth practice is not enforced in your state, no matter if the CDC or APTA does something, if it is not adapted by the state, then you cannot practice. And you also have to make sure if the state is part of compact. And are there any exceptions to the telehealth practice as of now with the COVID outbreak? Like Connecticut has put a 90-day suspension for licensees to, so to decrease the scrutiny on them. Texas did the same. They are fast tracking the licenses. So you also could look into that. That makes you be more prepared during the situation. And there is this whole big thing about Medicare e-visit, right? So there are 3 requirements. You need to be a current patient. And if your hospital or the clinic already has an e-portal, you use that. patient portal. If not, you could use any other patient portal. So what qualifies for a patient portal is that the patient should have a login and password with 24-hour access to his information. It could be a video, it could also be just audio. So it can be, it doesn't, it initially said it only has to be phone, but then APTA clarified that it could be, they have some waiver, but you could also ask your state about it. And how can a therapist initiate an e-visit? So on your business website or on your social media page, you can post what is an e-visit, what qualifies for an e-visit, and how to actually how the patient can sign up for an e-visit. And when the patient calls, you can also educate the patient, but never solicit that, hey, I'm going to insist that you initiate an e-visit now. You should not do that, but you could educate the patient. And a verbal consent from the patient is required for an e-visit. And I've also added the link for where I got this information from. It's APTA FAQs. I'm sorry about the background noise. It's my son. I think he's getting a little restless, but that's okay. And again, for Medicare e-visit, so we have a 7 consecutive day rule, where if you, let's say your patient called you on a Tuesday and you initiated the e-visit on Wednesday, it's 7 days from Wednesday. And you're going to use CR modifier. It's a COVID recovery modifier. And these are the G codes, sorry, not these are the codes that you use. They're for, the maximum is 21 minutes. And the place of service code, if it's a mobile practice, it's 12. If the treating clinician has access to a HIPAA secure platform, APTA always recommends you to use a HIPAA secure platform. But that being said, the HHS has waived off HIPAA requirements right now, and it also has waived off any penalties on the hospital if a HIPAA policy is breached. However, as you're practicing ethics, to be responsible, it's always good to, if you have an option, if it's free, use a HIPAA secure platform. So as I was exploring this e-visit, what I realized is that you cannot evaluate a patient. He has to be a pre-existing patient, and you can only see them for 21 minutes in a 7-day period. How many patients recover for just 21 minutes in a 7-day period? So that's very limited time to treat. And you also have to realize that e-visit and telehealth are not the same. So they are different. So they must not be used interchangeably. So these are the limitations of e-visit. And now with Medicare patients, we have an advanced beneficiary notice. If you give your patient an advanced beneficiary notice, and what it means is that it's a waiver of liability that from Medicare, that if that service is not provided through Medicare, if it's not a service that is provided through Medicare, which telehealth is not, telehealth has never paid for, Medicare has never paid for telehealth service. You're stating it to the patient, and you're asking the patient to be responsible for his own payments. At that point, it becomes a self-pay, cash-based pay. So you can treat all your elderly people who fall under Medicare by giving them an ABN. So by giving them an ABN, you're also protecting yourself from, by practicing the guidelines and everything. And with enough time, with good telehealth communication and the digital exercise platform, you can treat that patient effectively. You can evaluate them effectively. And these are the billing requirements for telehealth if it's a one-on-one telehealth session. Yes.
Asha, could you please re-emphasize on the difference between a e-visit and a telehealth care visit, because they're not the same?
They're not. So e-visit is for Medicare beneficiaries. It's like if your patient has a quick question to ask you. So you are answering the question either through an audio call, through a video call, but you're giving them a quick one-time explanation of what they could do. It's like a consultation, a quick consultation. And you can give them one-time exercise program if you have already access to it. But you cannot engage with them in the 7-day period for more than 21 minutes. Telehealth visit is a total different ball game. You can evaluate the patient for an hour. You can treat them like you are regularly treating your patient 2 times a week for 12 weeks. You can give them digital exercise prescription. You can track their compliance. You can get feedback from your patient. It's like you're doing a direct call, but you're doing it securely through a video conference. So that's the difference between a telehealth visit and an e-visit. E-visit was originally made for doctors to give like quick medicine to their patient, quick prescription to their patients, because not many doctors talked more than 21 minutes to their patients. So that was what it was originally intended for. And then they had physical therapists and occupational therapists also sneak into the e-visit. So maybe that helps you relate to it better. Did that answer your question, Kamal?
Yes. I really want our participants, attendees to understand the difference between both.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So if you are having a direct telehealth visit, so the eligible providers use a modifier GT or 95. If you can excuse me, I'll just shut the door and I'll be right back.
Go ahead, Asha. Let me answer some of the questions here. Quintessa is asking, do you get a lot of no-show? I guess we'll ask Asha about that. But I don't. I just follow up with them through email. But my telehealth is very, very easy. I don't have a lot of telehealth patients, so they make it a point to meet me. And then you mentioned that this portal is free. I believe she is offering 1 month for this free webinar for those people who are signing up. So grab that 1 month free. And of course, for my mastermind and the masterclass people who are in our masterclass group, she's going to offer us 3 months. So if you want 3 months free, come and join that masterclass that we have. And another question that Quintessa was asking is, how do you do marketing?
Yes, yes. I'll get into it shortly. Let me just quickly review the billing requirements, and then we'll jump to marketing.
Go ahead.
So these are the modifiers that you use. The place of service code is 02, which is virtual visit one-on-one. And these are the revenue codes, and these are the procedure codes. So I'm not going to, read them out, but you can look it up, and I'll share these slides with you as well. And we'll record this session. We'll also share this with you. And this Quintessa's answer. So our provider search, which I will show you, helps the patients to look you up through a specialty, through your area of expertise. Are you providing a telehealth service? Is your clinic only offering direct services? What kind of services do you offer? Do you offer balance rehab, vestibular rehab? Are you a dementia practitioner? Are you giving caregiver training? Are you a manual therapist? Whatever that you're doing, are you a back specialist? You can market that. And every link, comes with, we take care of the SEO part of it. So you're promoted and as a practitioner. So we are doing the heavy lifting here. So that's how you could do. And on your own, you could post a profile of yourself on Facebook. If you do not have a website, you could use digital marketing. You could, really emphasize your social media links, and you can also create your own YouTube channel. You can also use LinkedIn. I really like LinkedIn. It really summarizes everything. And I post the LinkedIn when I'm, when I'm going for a job, or if I want to post it on a blog post, I also give them a LinkedIn link right there. And what we do on our blog is we post educational information, educational videos, educational blog posts. And at the end of each blog post, we say who the author is, who wrote that article, right? So to all these providers, I know many of you have like 15 years, 20 years, 25 years of experience. If you know something really good, and if you feel powerful about it, if you want to write a blog, feel free to do it. And we will also market your profile on our blogs. In that way, you could share that blog link on your Facebook, social media, LinkedIn, and you can also make a digital presence there. Many people, let's say I have back pain. What would I do immediately? I would say, how do I get rid of back pain? What are the good exercises to do, to help with the back pain? So if your blog comes up uh, just as an information resource, and then at the end your name pops up, then people would automatically see where does this person practice. And at the end of each blog post, we provide them a link for search provider. And we also provide them a link for where if I'm the author, I also show them where what my specialty is. So they can always find you digitally. So that's what I would do for marketing. And discovery visits, they have helped me a lot. So if you give a 15-minute free session to your patient and you're answering their questions one-on-one, you could convince them in that 15 minutes to create a plan for you. Like if you're treating the patient for 3 months, 2 times a week, $150 each visit, then you sold yourself for that with that $15 discovery visit, and you made like easily $2 to $3 grand on it. And mention telehealth. Telehealth is new, but talk about it. Make a digital presence. Also post it on your website, post it on your Facebook, LinkedIn, so people know what telehealth is. And as an alternative means with COVID, everybody's stuck in their home right now. So there's something called, my husband explained this to me earlier, cabin fever. I am so used to a certain dose of patients, so I have to go meet them all the time for me to feel good about myself. And poor patients, they also feel the same. So if they can talk with you one-on-one, they feel connected to you, that itself makes them happy. So, all these things will really help you and take you a long way.
You know what? Let me harp on on that topic there of marketing. If you don't, I've been telling you this. If you don't have a sign, just like a business, like for example, you go to a gasoline station, there's always a sign there. It says Shell gasoline station. So a business without a sign is a sign of no business. So one of the ways for you to create influence online is obviously in Facebook. That's the quickest way. Create a Facebook page. If you have extra budget, obviously create your own website, and start a blog post, start a podcast, start a social media presence, because that's the name of the game now. If you're going to be in telehealth, you might as well have a social media presence. So let me just share you my screen here. So this is my website, drmikechua.com, and I don't know if you know it, but I do the dementia thing. So I have my website. So I will just tell people, okay, after I do my Facebook live video on my Alzheimer's and dementia support group, I would tell them, hey, go to my website. You can download my book for free. And then boom, and I'm gonna spam them with my website, with my stuff. So here we've got our podcast that we do. We have the courses that we sell, the books that we sell, and the services. The services is one of the services I do is the telehealth. So caregiver and patient consultation. So I don't tell them that it's therapy, but we market it as a caregiver and patient consultation. So basically it's I teach them how to be a better caregiver. So we charge $150 and then we use Zoom because that's what I have. So it's just $150 per hour. I've had clients in London. I had clients in somewhere in Vietnam, and one in Australia, and I just consult them about dementia. So it doesn't have to be therapy, it doesn't have to be physical therapy. I talk to them about dementia, which is my quote unquote specialty. So there are ways, for you to market yourself. Like what Asha mentioned, creating blog posts. So if you're going to go back down on my homepage, well, all the way down here, uh, I got those testimonials from other people, and then I interview different people, like what we're doing right now. So I would interview different people to market myself, and basically doing this. And at the end of all those interviews, so for example, at the end of those interviews, like let's click one, right? So it's actually an interview, a YouTube channel. Okay, it's a YouTube channel, YouTube or whatever you call that, and it's a podcast. It becomes a podcast. We have a podcast channel, and it becomes a blog post. And at the end, we have other stuff that we sell. Get your foot bar walker. Every now and then, we would link the services. Connect with Dr. Mike Chua if you need to talk to him, stuff like that. And this is how you market. And you can be the best therapist in the world, but if you don't know how to market yourself, they're not going to go to you. So you need to put yourself out there. Asha mentioned LinkedIn. If you want to serve high ticket people who want to pay you, LinkedIn is the way to go, because they will pay you there. Obviously, in my case, it's dementia, so I'm hanging out all the time in Facebook. So we also have a group called Alzheimer's and Dementia Support Group. We got 30,000 members inside that group, and that's where I go live every now and then. I have what you call Tuesday Dementia Training, TDT, Tuesday Dementia Training, and then basically I go live and talk about dementia, and that's where I sell my services there. And you have to create that group. You have to create your own online influence in order for you to develop, your command in telehealth. Because with all this COVID thing going on, I'm going to stop my share. So uh, uh, everybody's going to go telehealth. You
Yes.
know, everybody's going to do telehealth. And how are you going to separate yourself? And why would they go to you? Why would they go and talk to Mike Chua, a regular Filipino therapist, versus a doctorate physical therapy who is really good with something? You have to find your specific niche and and run with it. So Asha, her specialty is neuro. So whatever you are right now, PTOT or assistant or whatever, find that specific niche and master that. I know Bill wants to do wellness, and find that specific niche. Bill's program would be how to be healthier at home, work at home guy, whatever you call that. So find that niche and make it as your own it in that way. Because telehealth is just one service that you can provide. It's just one avenue. You can provide a lot more services. I mean, as you can see in my website, I have my books that we sell, the podcast, the courses. The courses that we have what you call the Misunderstanding Dementia course, wherein they can buy it as a course, because my book is titled Misunderstanding Dementia. It's free, right? The ebook is free. So I collect their emails, right? So I collect their emails, and then they can get my ebook. And then if they want an actual physical copy, I direct them to Amazon so they can actually buy the book itself, right? So in the books here, we've got several books that we sell. The Misunderstanding Dementia, The Time to Fly, 365 Daily Tips for Dementia Caregiver. Those are the books that they can buy. So for example, they want to buy this, right? They click that and it goes to Amazon. And then this is just a marketing tool for me. So they buy it for $14. And then of course, inside the book, you have your information there that they can, there you go. The information there that they can see and buy Michael's program, right? So from the book, and then you make it as a course. So I think I have the course here. So they can buy the course for $47. I think it's $47. I don't know how much we're selling. So it's all recorded. It's all pre-recorded, and all they need to do is buy it. So I think it's $37. So they buy it for $37. It's all recorded. So it's there. And so that's me there. So I don't even have energy there, but you know what I'm talking about. So you start with the ebook, you know, you do your online stuff, and then eventually you will get your clients calling you left and right. Hey, I want to consult with you. Because if you're just going to be a general telehealth guy person, they're not going to go to you. You need to have some sort of a specialty, and what's your niche. So all right, did that make sense, guys? So I hope that makes sense.
And just to add on to what you said, Mike, all these are alternate means of earning revenue right now, where I believe most of the private practitioners are hurting.
Yeah. Well, look,
Right.
Bill. I mean, he asked that UR course. There you go. We've done that. We've done that. So,
So I'm just going to take a couple minutes, like less than 5 minutes, to just
yeah, go
show
ahead
you the
and let's
blog
wrap it up.
post. Yes, yes. So right now I click the blog. So this is a video. So if you click read more,
Is that you there?
that's me there. I was on TV, brother.
Really? Oh, wow. You're really popular, huh?
So you can see, like in the blog post, you know who the therapist is, author. Okay. And if you click this link, it will guide you to the author, you know. So you see where she's located and all that information. And if you look here in the link, it says clinician Asha Gumadi. So if you type the name Asha Gumadi in Google, you get pulled up for knee replacement surgery. So you people who are looking for knee replacement exercises, you get in the list without people even knowing about it. And if you post a video of yourself, people would be more curious, you know, like they would know who you are. And at the end of every blog post, we have, you know, like if patients are looking for diabetic neuropathy, you search, then you would come up. So this way you can market yourself. You're doing the same thing, but you're doing it through different channels. So, and what I'm asking the senior experts or senior clinicians right now is we have different kinds of articles for patients and also for providers. So you can write an article and send it to us, and we will publish you and we will link you up. That way your SEO is also improved. So
Oh, that's good.
yes, so I would like to work with all of you together and, you know, like get us through this crisis so we can come out as winners. That's what really I want to do. One of my friends said, like, people who know me understand me. It might be something like that's too good to believe. It's just who I am. Like my close friend said, why would you give it for free? Well, if everybody is hurting right now, and if I say, now that you're hurting, I need to make it mandatory, I need to, this is the time to earn money. Well, that's not really being ethical or you know, caring for your community. So that's not what I would like to be recognized as. So try to sign up, use the application, get financially more secure, stronger, and then you know, we'll help each other out.
There you go. There you go. So
So
I love that, you know, so you're going to publish them too on the actual Therex Portal website. So all
yes,
they need to
yes.
do is submit the videos and some
And
sort
the
of blog
blog
post.
posts, which they are already good at. Like, you know, many of the therapists who have private practices, they are good therapists, you know, like or else not many people would set up their own clinic if they are not confident about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is my vision for why I started Therex Portal. Is there is a clinician shortage globally, not just here. And if you are giving education to patients, you can connect with them digitally. Like if you are known as a certified dementia practitioner, people will look you up. And with this digital platform, you can reach out to a larger audience. You can reach out to a global shortage, and you can serve your people better. You can make a true impression on your profession, and you know, it will feel good for you as well. You know, job satisfaction. That's what helps me drive that drives me every day. And with our multilingual exercise program, you could do just that.
It's true. All right. Well, again, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Asha. Appreciate you. I know we went over time,
It's okay.
but
We'll
thank you
take a
very
few.
much.
We'll take a few questions, Mike. I think some of them. have asked a few questions.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Sri is asking, do we need to be certified to practice telehealth? I don't think so.
No.
I mean, all you need to do is guts and glory. So
Yes.
you've got everything. If you are here right now, I'm assuming you're a therapist. All you need to do is get it, use the free subscription, make the most out of it, learn, use it to your family members, use it to your friends, like what Asha said, probably start with $0, $5, whatever. Just learn the system, learn in your individual state, and then go from there. We are so much, as a profession, we are so much into certification. I teach a certification course. The certified dementia practitioner. I'm going to teach it this weekend. It's an Alzheimer's disease and dementia care seminar, and it's a certification course. But in reality, all of us, we try to keep on getting the next certification course, but you don't really need to get one, especially doing this. All you need to do is a good software like Asha's software, a Therex Portal, and your guts and your glory, and starting to do it, and just taking action. So yeah, you don't need extra certification, but if you need one, you can get mine, right? All right.
I think Quintus asked, do you get a lot of no-shows? So,
Yeah.
so if you are scheduling your patients, send them reminders, and also say, if you see the first no-show, you have a policy in place. If you have 2 no-shows in a row, I'm going to take you off the system. So then the patient feels responsible. Always make the patient feel responsible. Our hospital has a 3 no-show policy where if you have more than 3 no-shows, then you need to take action on that patient. You need to have a conversation. We have to say, hey, dude, what's going on here? There are other people who could benefit from it. You are taking up my time. So have a strong policy, and you can also give it to your patient on the first day. So
excellent.
Rebecca said you mentioned that it is a free service. How long is this offer? So we would do it until the COVID outbreak is clear. So how do you do marketing? I think I answered that question, Quintessa. And how does a therapist distinguish for documentation that the client has signed and a advanced beneficiary notice and a telehealth visit has been conducted instead of an e-visit? So you document it. As you get the ABN signed, issued, you write it down in your documentation that patient is issued this on the so-and-so date. Patient has verbally understood and voiced understanding, verbalized understanding, and you bill for. After that, we initiated a telehealth calls through so-and-so platform, and then this is what he was charged for. So in your G Suite documentation or whatever documentation system that you're using, you make a reference of it, you write it detailedly, so you know that you're covered. Will this PPT be available to us? Yes, absolutely. AJ, once again, how do you find out if your state participant? Find out. Okay. So it's written on the state. It's written on the. Let me open up the PPTS site. And also, there is something I really wanted to emphasize here. So your state is also learning about this newly. So I'll give you a real example. So if I go to not this.
Your internet is fast.
So it's a COVID outbreak, right? So how they changed it. Okay. So they gave me a resource this morning that said one of the insurance does not pay for telehealth. Okay. So this March 24th, which is open today. So here, when I went through this TRICARE, right? Medicaid, UHC. So I spoke with my friend Ray this morning. He says his clinic does UHC, and it says like payers that are not paying telehealth, UHC is listed, but he got a letter from UHC saying they will pay for his service. So develop a close community, talk between yourself, have a support group within therapists so you keep yourself up to date. because this information changes very frequently, and you really have to be an advocate for yourself, and you have to, figure it out by calling the insurance. And APTA also posted some questions as to what you should specifically ask your payer if they would pay for this service. There is a detailed transcript there. If you're interested, just comment there and I will send it to you. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, we just have to, like what Asha was talking about, AJ. It's just an evolving situation right now, but I'm sure everybody, will go to this. So this is the perfect time. A lot of people are already doing it before all this happened. They're already winning on it. They're already doing it. So now is the perfect time. If you don't adjust and adapt to the current situation, and then just go back to your previous situation, it's going to be hard. So I mean, even clinics, big and small, they are implementing it now. So we might as well embrace the technology, embrace the new normal. So speaking of new normal, if you know and you're already doing it in your own, for your own practice, for your own business, and then when you look for a job, it's going to be a good what do you call this, a good resume thing. You that's going to be, it's better than any certification course. You tell them, hey, I run my own small telehealth practice, and they'll be like, oh, how do you do that?
Right.
Oh, I use Therex Portal. I use this and that, use my link,
So I had a quick thought right here flash up in my mind. I also wanted to say, like, the patient that I treated in India, I wrote up a single case study with Chandra, and we published it in Pennsylvania state body poster presentation, and he did it in Indiana, state of Indiana. So that, there you go, that's your winning story. Like, if you do a single case study on a new service, like, people will read you up, they will look you up, and it's published on the APTA section meeting. So you can also do research with it. It doesn't have to be fancy, but single case study do not require the all those higher end regulations. So you could do that as well to improve your expertise, and you have to emerge as a leader in it. You have to show yourself that you're a leader in it, and people believe in you, trust in you. So that's how you do it.
Yeah, the quickest way for you to develop your authority or your impact, your influence and impact, is to write a book. Every time I go to a patient's house, I give them a physical copy of my book, and they'll be like, oh gosh, I'm talking to an author. But that book is like a small book. It's like 80 pages. Yeah. So if you want to learn how to create your own book, start your own courses like what I've been doing, create your own group. We also have a group called the Alternative Career Masterclass. So we have like people there that we're teaching and helping them how to create their own small business. It's not going to be a million thing, but it's just basically supporting each other. There's one more question here from Swathi. Can home health agencies implement telemedicine for PT? That's a great question. The company that fired me last December, they're implementing it already. LHC, that big company, LHC, they are actually, before they fired me, right? I'm so proud I got fired, right? Because ever since I got fired, I got fired up, starting my own business. So before they fired me, I offered them the telehealth program because I used to be, nothing against Asha, I used to be the regional director for Blue Jay. Blue Jay is another telehealth platform that you can use, but of course we use Therex Portal now, right? So, so I was the regional manager there, and I was offering it to LHC, and they said, "No, Michael, we already have something in place, and we're going to launch it soon." And guess what? They're going to launch it as early. I think they're going to launch it now. And what's another software that I've been personally using? Teladoc. Teledoc is it's a medical doctor thing. So it's an online thing, and I can see the doctor himself, and for simple cough and colds and stuff like that. And it's simple, you know. I'm like looking at him in the phone itself. He would call me, and you know, we could see each other like Skype or Zoom, like this Teledoc. And I've been doing that since 2015. You know, when simple cough and colds. So
If you'd like to think outside the box, Mike is your man. So if he has generated so many alternate means of cash flow that he's phenomenal that way. Like that's so good, Mike.
oh, are you talking about me?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course,
thank
of
you.
course.
Oh, well. All right. If you don't have any more questions, guys, thank you very much for
I,
those people who hang in there. So
I,
it's pretty long. So we recorded this. I'm sure Asha's going to email you the PowerPoint. If not, just shoot me a message. But we would be happy to use that link that she sent you, Therex Portal. I don't get anything from it, just to let you know. We just need to help out each other here with this current situation. But one thing that I need you to do, guys, is remember the word FAST, FAST. First is find friends that will push you to your next level. You are the average to 5 people you hang out with. So who are you hang out with? Are you hang out with people who are complaining about their situation, or are you hang out with people who are actually going to push you to your next level? Asha, look at Asha's vision there. Asha's vision is not just for herself. Asha's vision is worldwide, not just US, not just India. You saw the map there. She's got Australia in there. She's got, we're talking about Philippines. We're talking about India. We're talking about US. We're talking about whatever, So think big, guys.
Humans are the same. Like if you're in America, if you're in India, China, we basically respond the same way. And
Yeah.
a problem is a problem. Like I identified a problem and I validated the problem is the same across all countries. So if you are solving a problem, you can solve it. If
There
something
you
works
go.
here, it will work in other countries as well.
There you go. So Srikant said she's from Malaysia. Oh gosh, see, we got somebody from Malaysia. So think big. So find friends that will push you to your next level. Come join. We have this masterclass. Come join that. Bill Daly, I love you, man. So find friends that will push you to your next level. Letter A. Letter A is actually take action. This is a free webinar. It's like we started at 7. It's almost 9. It's 9:20. This is a free webinar, guys. And if you don't take action, it's not going to do me good. It's not going to do you good if you don't take action on it. So you got to take action, guys. Bill, I'm going to put the link here right now. Alternative careers. I don't even know what our website, alternative healthcare careers.com. So that's the website. So take action, guys. Take action, because imperfect action is better than perfect in action. What's the next letter? Letter S. Letter S is shoot for the moon, because when you keep shooting for the moon, you're going to be eventually landing with the stars. Guess what, guys? You're going to fail. You're going to fail. I bet Asha fails all the time.
Oh,
but
it took
does
me
she
5 years to build this.
So
I failed
that
several
system that she has right now, she had encountered a lot of failure, I am sure. And up until now, I bet there's still some room for improvement. Same thing with me. I've failed. I fail every day. I fail every day. And does that stop me from getting better? No. So you got to keep pushing, guys. Keep pushing. And last but not the least, letter T. Letter T. Telehealth. No, just kidding. Letter T. Teach it. That's what Asha's doing to us. She's teaching us how to use telehealth. Why? Because when you hear it, you forget. When you see it, you remember. But when you're actually teaching it, you're actually understanding it more. So once you perfected the art of telehealth, teach it to somebody else. Share the knowledge, because sharing is power, right? Not sharing the virus, right?
Sharing is caring. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Sharing is caring, all right? But not sharing the virus, right? Okay. Asha, any last parting words before I turn this off. So
That's
thank you
it.
very much for those people who are watching. So,
That's
and the
good.
people
That's
who've
good.
attended. So,
All of you guys do sign up, subscribe. It's free. And the code is Therex Telehealth, all uppercase letters. And do make use of it. And, add your own exercises, build your own platform, and treat your patients effectively. And don't get stressed out. Don't let technology be another stressor. Use it for free. Yeah. And if you have any questions, you can always reach me at ashagumadi@therexportal.com. And Mike, if you can post that to all the friends here, it's Asha, my first name, ASHA Gumadi, GUMMADI at therexportal.com. And we'll send you these slides and also the recording. Have a good night and stay safe. Practice physical isolation, but digital connectivity, like stay connected digitally.
all right. Well, again, thank you very much, especially for those people who watched today here in our webinar. And always remember the word, I already said that, right? Always remember, be awesome, be great, be excellent, and practice social isolation or social, what do you call distancing? You distance yourself from those negative people, all right? You distance yourself from those negative people. All right, I'll see you around. And thank you, Asha. Thank you very much for those people who watch. I appreciate you. And you have a good night, guys. Thank
Have a
you.
great night. Yeah.